Right, I want to carry on and get the rest of this stonework out and these other lintels out. This is one of the remaining lintels here. There's another one, more substantial one behind. Obviously these are the remaining larger stones. You can see here there was actually nothing in here at all. See the daylight through. Above here is where the floorboards were, so that's you know, and the sort of joists and noggins and one thing and another. I'm going to get these out of the way, get these remaining lintels out and have a look. Once I've done that, I'm going to kind of talk you through what I was thinking about doing here going forward, rather than putting lintel back in and building the stonework back up and putting the remaining joists on top. I've had another idea which I think will be better and more structurally sort of sound, give us more height but would still have the character. I'll talk you through that afterwards. We'll get these out of the way and you know, open things up. Just thought I'd show you these. Obviously this was the most substantial one, probably about 30 centimetres across, maybe around 10 centimetres thick at its thickest, and I don't know, maybe about 80 centimetres wide. Obviously a lot of it's come away, rotted away, but it still looks fairly solid, to be fair. Two here I showed you before, the cylindrical one, very rotten on the end, and the little post they've put in for some bizarre reason, probably just to fill a gap. And then we've got this other one, which again is more of a substantial one, probably a hardwood, a chestnut, something like that. Doesn't look very pretty, but it is fairly heavy and fairly solid, so we may actually be able to use one or two pieces of these and other things. So you know, not all doom and gloom. We knew they had to come out. Now it's a question of rebuilding that corner before we can kind of go any further really and get these last 2 or 3 beams. I think we can get away with 3 beams, 3 joists, sorry. I'll run you through what I'm thinking about doing. It's all kind of as I'm thinking about it, so there may be problems with it that I've not thought of up to now, but I'll let you know what I'm thinking. Right, as quickly as I can, I want to talk you through my plans for this this doorway. How we're going to do it. It's hopefully going to look quite similar to what it was before, but rather than use an aforementioned sort of concrete lintel or metal lintel going across this span, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of sections of these joists across at 45 degrees, so at 90 degrees from these joists that are in, coming into this front wall. Now I'm going to put 2 in, running parallel with a few centimetre gap between them. one coming off of the joist in this room, one coming off the joist in the other room. Going to sit the two joists that are coming off these in the middle of this wall, so then I can rebuild with stone up to the height of the joist, so you're never going to see these other pieces that I've put in. They're going to be hidden in the wall and under the floor. They're going to go across, and then I'm going to rebuild the end of this wall, putting in some befitting wooden lintels using some of the old joists, etc. And then a little run of stone above them and in between the joists running back across, which are going to sit onto via joist hangers onto the two joists that I've got going across this gap. I think that's the best way of doing it, because it's going to give some real strength. The joists that are in the middle of this wall coming across, you're not going to see them at all. They're going to be completely hidden, and it's going to reduce the amount of stone work in this corner. It doesn't really matter. We're going to have the nice wooden lintels. Probably put something a bit bigger in that was in before, and then just a little run of stone above them and infilling in between the joists, because obviously the joists are going to be on show. That's the plan. If you've got any thoughts or ideas or issues with it, or if you can think of something that I haven't already thought of, which is more than possible, let us know, drop us a comment. It'll probably be too late, so I've probably done it by the time you get this, but you know, it'd be nice to hear them anyway. Tell me where I've gone wrong after the event. But yeah, we'll see how we get on anyway. Hello? What are you doing? Hello? Come on then. What's the big hole? What's the hole? Come on then. Come on. I thought you were going to go in the barrel. Oh, I tell you. So, Right, getting on pretty well with the clearing up and moving. Got that big pile of rubble away. It took longer than expected, but everything does. Added to the fact it's about 30 degrees today, so it's not nice to do that jobbing. But it's done, it's out of the way. I've got the two big beams, big joists moved downstairs. It's quickly swept up in there. I'm going to get these, hour 20 so, half cut joists put into the outside space, the undercover area. And if we get time, we'll see about moving a few of these bits and pieces over here. Again, I'll put them out there, and then this area is clear, you know, ready to attack another day. I don't know what time it is. I think it's about 6:30, so I can have another hour or so, get this lot moved, and hopefully some of that, and then I'll be about beat, to be honest. Anyway, see how I get on. Just going to quickly show you my nicely assorted and meticulously stored collection of vintage nails. They're all put in little plastic trays from the dog treats, which come in really handy, and I'll just give you a quick look now and see what you think. We're going to continue on here. I'm going to get these boards up. Obviously got everything cleared away the other day and tidied up. I've got these two acros on these boards. I've just transferred them across to the edges of these new joists, so they're nice and solid. So we're going to get these up, see how they come up. I'll start at the other end, work this way, so I've got a solid platform if I can. It depends how the boards have been laid. I might end up taking these first two boards off here on this side, as most of the boards are going that way. The outer two edges are going the opposite way. It might make it difficult to take the rest of them out, but we'll see. I'll try getting them off from the first board off nearest the wall first, and see how we get on. Right, before I kick this over, obviously they put this in at some point over the years, you know, no idea when, obviously a long time ago, just to add some additional support to these back few joists. Probably saw that they were getting a bit raw, so we'll put something in. I don't think it's doing anything additional. Obviously there's nothing above here now. All the floorboards are up, all the stud walls down, etc, etc. So there's no weight other than the joists. The joists are still into the walls, so they're not going to drop down if I kick this out. Well, they shouldn't do anyway. So we're just going to kick it out at the bottom, see what we've got. There's a plank about 1.5 meters long, 35 centimeters wide, going into the back wall. Again, obviously that's offering support to these 4 joists. But we'll take it out, and then we're going to carry on. Just whip these joists out, take them outside, clear all this area up to this last bit of floor, and then we'll see. I don't know whether I'm going to start putting the joists in, work that way, and then do that floor, or whether we carry on, get those floorboards up, get everything out in here, and then have a good straight full run at the joist over the next couple of days. So here goes nothing really. Right, this is definitely dropping. It's cracked right in the middle. So is that one. To be fair, thinking about it now, stupidly after the event, this board is nailed in. It's not just set into the back wall, it's nailed into each joist, so it's pulling on everything. So we'll just get the crowbar and see if we can lever this away from this board, and then that should leave the joists in place in theory. Come on, there we are, there we are, there we are. Wheel. That's pretty heavy that. That's what's left of these joists. just split in the centre, just completely rotten. Definitely won't be using them for lintels. So that was the plank that was going across all of those and into the wall. It's corroded. Sorry, it's not metal. It's rotted away on this end where it was in the wall. But the rest of it's pretty good, so we might be able to use that for a funky shelf or something like that. But yeah, it's got some lovely grain, so we'll hang on to that. Right, okay, what I've decided to do is we'll get the rest of these floorboards up, the rest of these joists out of the way, get everything cleared up, get the mucky jobs to one side. To do that, I've got to move these two acro props to the side of me that are currently on these boards, which I can put one a little bit further across onto one of the new joists and the OSB, and the one that I've got behind the camera, I'm going to have to put two props together and go off the floor, the ground floor. So we'll get that done straight away. Once all this is out of the way, we'll get all the floorboards and all the good joists taken over to the room under the cabin, so everything's cleared and tidy, and the remainder pile down here, which is no good for man nor beast apart from going on the fire. We'll put that to one side ready for chopping up when we get a minute. So that's the plan, and we shall now execute it to the best of my abilities. Okay. just going to have a few minutes, put some of this membrane down in here in the area around the well, the compost bin. Keep saying we're going to put some wood chip down, which we're going to do hopefully this afternoon. Becky's going to do some chipping, and I remember I got some of this left over from the area up next to the cabin where we put the white stone down, so I thought, well, we'll double up and put some of this down as well. And that should then finish this area off really, so we'll crack on, get this cut and laid down, and then you'll see some footage of Becky tentatively doing the chipping. So we'll carry on with this now. Fully forward.
I need the goggles on where the
Choke there. The what?
goggles. I mean, I've got glasses on, but in
In
there.
that shed, yeah. Should start that. What are you doing? Hey? Anoush, what are you doing? What are you doing? A comfy? Hey, a comfy there, Alf.